Welcome. Well, you are at home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family. And we would love to hear from you during our live show. So give us a jingle at 1-800-221-9460. If you're calling and you're outside of North America, you can reach us at area code 205-271-2980. And you can always send us an email, jimandjoy@ewtn.com. And last week on one of our shows, we had a call from Ireland.
Did we?
Yeah, so we get outside North America, which is fun.
Ireland.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. Well, today we have a beautiful guest for you. Her name is Heather Barber, and she is with the Catholic Grandparents Association. You could go to their website. It's CatholicGrandparentsAssociation.org. And the Catholic Grandparents Association is no stranger to here at EWTN.
We've had him on our show.
We had him on our show, and recently EWTN series, Father hosted them on the Church Universal, Father Joseph Mary Wolfe. And the Philadelphia Archdiocese Catholic Grandparents Association Conference is Saturday, August 26th at St. Charles Borromeo Seminary in Wynwood, PA. We, me and you, because we're grandparents, we will be two of the keynote speakers along with Catherine Wiley, who is the founder of the Catholic Grandparents Association.
We would really love to see you.
Yeah.
I hope that you come. It's a beautiful setting. If you're anywhere near it, come. Some people are coming from very far away to make the time. So we would be together personally and see you face to face for this great time.
And it's going to be a great time to join other grandparents for a day of learning, sharing, prayer, and support. Because sometimes you feel all alone out there. We want you to register online at eventbrite.com. Just plug in Philadelphia Catholic Grandparents Association Conference to search for the particular event. And you can call 1-888-510-5006 to register and get more information.
You know, I tried to do the registration and to call, so I tried this all out for you. And that phone number that you just heard, Marilyn Henry will answer that phone. And you can register, and we'll all be together on that weekend. It'll be wonderful.
And we love being grandparents.
We love being grandparents.
You know, in life, one of my favorite sayings is, the best is yet to come. I believe that. I believe that to be true. Because when I die, hopefully heaven is better than this, right?
Our whole show is going to be on being a grandparent and the call of a grandparent. And like you said, you love being a grandparent, I love being a grandparent. And it's like beyond words. We have 16 living grandchildren, absolutely beautiful. Their parents are doing a wonderful job. And then we have 8 that have been miscarried that are with the Lord, so we remember them as well. But you know, Joyce, it's beyond words. And I thought to myself, okay, well, how can I describe being a grandparent? And what I saw as I was out walking today was a batch of dough that got leavened. And you know how it rises so nice? Oh, you can see that loaf and the beautiful color of it and the smell of it, and then it's baked. And I think that's the way I feel as a grandparent. I feel like a leavened loaf of bread. It's so wonderful. It smells so good. I'm getting hungry. And also it's something that, Lord willing, so long as it's leavened by Christ and by the church, it's something that your grandchildren can partake of.
Yeah.
And they really want to partake of us when they get to know us or see us. And I do know that there are some grandparents out there whose hearts are breaking as well. Maybe it isn't the best relationship that you have with your grandchildren or with your children. But it's God's design and God's plan that they would be able to feast upon us and that the faith would be grounded within them as human beings, generation to generation.
So we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, Donna Marie Cooper O'Boyle will share another of her few tips that she's been doing on her show called Feeding the Family's Soul.
There you go. There's a loaf of bread.
Right? There you go.
So thanks for joining us today. There's plenty more to come. We want to build you up in Christ and in the church. Please don't go away.
Hello, welcome to Feeding Your Family's Soul. What's on the menu? Create new memories and preserve the past. So there's something so special, I think, about using your mother's cooking utensils. My mother's old wooden rolling pin has certainly seen better days, but I love to use it, knowing that my mother used it to make tasty pies and cookies for her husband and 8 children. My thoughts go back to her peach pies cooling on the kitchen counter and the delicious cookies she rolled out of homemade dough. All of us 8 kids delighted in my mother's confections. I especially like to use my mother's rolling pin around the holidays. My 3 daughters joke about who the lucky one will be to inherit the rolling pin from me. To me, it's a symbol of my mother's love and ardent spirit. Here's some food for thought. Take some time to ponder ways that you can create some new family traditions while also recapturing the past. How about this recipe for your family? Perhaps you can bake a batch of cookies or a pie sometime soon and bring it to a shut-in or a local soup kitchen. Bake an extra batch of cookies or pie for your family. And as you bake or make cheery greeting cards, talk to the children about our duty as Christians to help the needy and to pray for them too. And to recapture the family past traditions, invite a relative to dinner soon or call them on the phone to reconnect. No doubt you will make their day. Ask for a favorite recipe from their past and keep it alive by making it sometime soon. Get the kids involved too. Add the recipe to your recipe box or your book and include your relative's name. So let us never tire of praying for families everywhere in our world. Every family needs our prayers. Show your family that you love them. Eat dinner together. Until we meet again, bye for now. God bless you.
Welcome back. Well, you are an important part of our EWTN family, and we would love to hear from you during our live show today. So if you have a question for Heather Barber, all you need to do is give us a jingle at 1-800-221-9460. If you're calling and you're outside of North America, you can reach us at area code 205-271-2980. And remember that you can always send us an email, jimandjoy@ewtn.com, and hopefully we'll use your question right here on the air.
I hope we have a lot of grandparents calling in today with great stories about your grandchildren, or maybe some stories that aren't so wonderful. You know, maybe you're hurting in some way. Or maybe they're grandchildren that have something to say. Maybe you're an older person now, but you want to speak about your grandparent and their influence in your life. Give us a call today.
Well, I bring to you today Heather Barber, and she is associated with the Catholic Grandparents Association. The great website is catholicgrandparents.com. So, Heather, we want to welcome you to At Home with Jim and Joy, and we want you to tell our family a little bit about yourself so you can inform them and also enlighten them about the Catholic Grandparents Association.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm a single mother of 2, my children Daisy and Michael. I also work 2 jobs. I'm an administrative assistant, and I'm also work for 4 gentlemen that have developmental disabilities. And don't we all have some type of disability?
That's right.
I mean, you can see I have glasses.
We all have special conditions.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so I also volunteer at a Catholic radio station in Fitchburg, Mass, which also live streams EWTN. Yeah. And I belong to 2 parishes in the Worcester Diocese.
Wonderful.
Yes.
With the family celebration coming up in Worcester soon.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you there.
So Annunciation Parish, and also Springfield Diocese, St. Mary's Parish. Wonderful. And I got involved in the Catholic Grandparents Association because my grandfather was the one that gave me my faith, my Catholic faith. And he passed, and after he passed, not even a month after he passed, at my parish, I found a flyer, and the flyer was for a pilgrimage to Stockbridge, Massachusetts, the National Divine Mercy Shrine, which is a beautiful place, one of my favorite places to go to. And there they had a pilgrimage for grandparents. So I said, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here, but absolutely,
Wow.
God's calling me to do this.
Wow.
So I went to the pilgrimage, and I learned about the organization, and I was so impressed, and I knew this is where God was calling me, is to spread this organization to parishes.
Yes. Tell us a little bit more about your grandfather and why he was so impactful and significant in your life, so much that now you share about the Catholic Grandparents Association and part of that pilgrimage. What was it about him that deposited faith in you, or that affirmed your life, or tell us more about him?
He was the one that gave me my faith through paying for me to go to a Catholic school, bringing me to church every week. Sometimes as a child I didn't want to go, but he gave fun ideas to do it by bringing us fishing one week if we'd go to church, or maybe supper out to eat afterwards, just different little things that he thought of. Praying together, praying different prayers, the Our Father, learning our prayers. And just being the example of the Catholic Grandparents Association member and not even knowing about it.
He was just being that all on his own, right?
Absolutely.
Because what he was doing was loving you as his granddaughter and sharing the treasure of his own soul, which was his faith. And he wanted you to have that. And so I think that's really wonderful, that now here you are in this situation. It's like, and you get, and sometimes in life, sorry to say, we don't get the impact of the people until they're gone. And then it's like, wow, this is what my grandfather did, and this is how he smelled, and this is what he liked to eat, and these are the books he liked to read. And then that gives us our own interior journey just to even cherish the memory of that person in our lives.
It's so beautiful that she got it then.
Right.
I mean, you knew what was going on then. And I just had to laugh a little bit when you said, my grandfather paid for me to get a Catholic education. And I laugh because I know some people that do that kind of thing. Some can't afford to do that, or some say, well, I'm not going to do that. But what a great gift to make it possible for someone to get a Catholic education, and we trust that it was a good one. You're here today.
Absolutely.
So passing on the faith, that's one of the key mottos of the Catholic Grandparent Association, right? Passing on the faith, prayer at the heart of the family. So he was doing that with you. But it really seems like connectedness. I mean, he was actually there. He was incarnational. He was present. I mean, you talk about Catholic education, but you talk about fishing. You talk about this or that or the other thing. And so some people might be a little bit intimidated. We really shouldn't be about, well, how do I pass on the faith and what do I do? And it's not all that complicated. And part of passing on the faith is your physical presence as well with someone that's saying, you have me, and I want you to know how much I love you. So it's not that complicated. It's time.
The little things, as you said, time. Little things that matter, just little step by step, increasing the faith through prayer, through action, through showing being a role model. You see a child crying, maybe give them a hug, or give them a dollar, just something simple, charity work, volunteering.
Right.
Yeah. I love when the grandchildren are over, and we had our children, and we tried to make a commitment to read to them daily, which was a lot, with the 4 kids. But so some of them, their parents are really busy, some are working, some are stay-at-home moms, but you don't know, you miss the moment sometimes of reading with your children. And I love it when the grandchildren come and they're like, Nona, will you read this to me? And I don't care what I'm doing. I will stop it and get them in the chair, because they're not always going to do that. And so there's a moment in time where you don't want to miss the encounter of the other. It could be a spiritual book, and sometimes it's not a spiritual book. It's a word picture book, and you're teaching them things, but you're loving them and you're having the encounter of the other, where they're grasping, you're giving me you, and all of you, you possess Jesus, and so it's all coming through in all those ways that we encounter the other and say, you're special. And I'm going to tell you, there are a few people on the planet that do that for us. We may have a lot of friends, we may have a lot of associations, but really, you could probably count on your hand the people, if you go up to and say, I need you to stop and hear me right now, it's probably about 5 of them, right? And so that grandfather was that for you.
Absolutely.
Good. So beautiful. And so what is your role at the Grandparents Association? What is it that you do?
My role is a missionary of the Catholic Grandparents Association. And basically what I do is I've received permission from Bishop McManus, which is the Bishop of the Worcester Diocese, and Bishop Rosansky from the Springfield Diocese. And I've also asked Cardinal Sean O'Malley, which I'm waiting for his permission before I step into his diocese, because you want to, do the proper thing and reach out. And
so Cardinal O'Malley, if you're watching today,
absolutely.
we'd love to hear from you.
And that's my first step, is to contact the bishops. And then once I've done that, and I do have their permission, I go to the priest of each parish and I send them a letter, and it's explaining the organization. I have a flyer about the organization, I have pamphlets, also my speech that I present to the parishioners. And then a week or two later, I follow up with just sitting down, meet and greet with the priest, and then we talk about maybe questions or setting up a date for me to come in and speak to the parish. And then I also give a little bulletin for inside their bulletins,
Right.
when I'm coming, who I am. That way, if parishioners want to come and be present or learn about the organization before I get there, they have a chance to.
That's perfect.
What is the setting that you usually speak in? Is it something after the Mass? Is it a little time at the end of Mass? Or what's the setting, or does it vary where you come in and address people?
Some parishes will have me speak after the homily, and other parishes will have me speak after the blessing, the final blessing.
That's good. And what is the response back from the people?
Overwhelming. The grandparents are so excited about the organization. They're so happy and proud that the organization's here. So many grandparents have come up to me and thanking me for this. And it's not me. It's God wanted me to pursue this, not me. And grandparents are always asking, well, is there some way I can help my grandchild come back? Because a lot of grandchildren have gone away, and some grandparents are raising their grandchildren.
Well, I know that at the heart of the Catholic Grandparents Association is the affirmation from Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI in terms of his support of this work, as well as Pope Francis, and that Pope Benedict himself wrote a prayer for the Catholic Grandparent Association. Do you have that prayer with you?
Yes, I do. Can we read it?
Yes, absolutely.
The Grandparents' Prayer. Lord Jesus, you were born of the Virgin Mary, the daughter of Saints Joachim and Anne. Look with love on grandparents the world over. Protect them. They are a source of enrichment for families, for the church, and for all of society. Support them as they grow older. May they continue to be, for their families, strong pillars of gospel faith, guardians of noble domestic ideals, living treasuries of sound religious traditions. Make them teachers of wisdom and courage. They may pass on to future generations the fruits of their mature human and spiritual experience. Lord Jesus, help families and society to value the presence and roles of grandparents. May they never be ignored or excluded, but always encounter respect and love. Help them to live serenely and to feel welcomed in all the lives, the years of life which you give them. Mary, Mother of all the living, keep grandparents constantly in your care. Accompany them on their earthly pilgrimage, and by your prayers, grant that all families may one day be reunited in our heavenly homeland, where you await all humanity for the great embrace of life without end. Amen.
Amen. Well, that is an absolutely awesome prayer, and I've read it many times. And of course, Pope Benedict wrote it himself, and we so affirm Catherine Wiley in terms of being the founders of this. And it isn't just like you write Rome and you get a prayer, from Pope, you write me a prayer. I mean, I think she had to pursue this, I don't know how many times, and she went to Rome numerous times and continued to make an appeal. And you can get a copy of this, I'm sure, from the Catholic Grandparents Association. Just go to the website. If you can't get it that way, just write us, Jim and Joy at EWTN.com, and we'll have the prayer and we'll send this to you, because you want to chew on this. You want to pray it. But I've read this numerous times, and now just looking at this, one of the neat things about this, Joy, I didn't realize how much this is a prayer for the grandparents themselves. You know, I was thinking that it's more of, you know, what we can do for our grandchildren, and for the show-offs out there who have great-grandchildren. So we need a great-grandparent, Catholic Grandparent Children's Association. My sister, Camille, is now a great-grandparent. So she's
And
kind
she
of,
says it's better than being a grandparent.
she said, oh, just wait until you become a
I said,
great-grandparent.
okay, I'll wait, whatever.
But I love what he's praying for us and what the Grandparent Association prays, because it says about the grandparents, protect them. Well, yeah, we need to be protected, we need to be blessed, but especially in this age, in this generation, where like becoming a senior, becoming a bit more feeble in various ways physically, you bet we need to be protected. And it says, support them. It's beautiful. So protect them, support them, you know, use them, keep them constantly in your care. I mean, what a blessing. Who's going around praying for grandparents these days? I mean, who comes up to you and says, can I pray for you? You're a grandparent. I think it's wonderful. Can I ask Saints Joachim and Anne to pray for you now? Powerful.
Well, you know, I remember when we had Catherine Wiley on and we were sharing, you know, just the concept and the thought. I mean, you knew that Mary had parents, but then you think, wait a minute, they were Jesus's grandparents. Like, you know, like that's unbelievable that Jesus had grandparents, and I'm sure they were outstanding, wonderful grandparents. And just they got to love, and the impact that they had on Jesus, how beautiful it was. I think, you know, sometimes in parishes and in the country and in the church, we're dismissed. There are groups in the church, and I don't think it's intentional. There's so many groups and organizations in parishes, and they may be men's groups, women's groups, and all different varying ages and stuff. But to do grandparents, and even sometimes people may even be widowed in that state as a grandparent. And it's just nice to know there's a place they can plug into and journey with other people who are in the same situation, you know, facing maybe not being honored, loved, and adored by their family, or really raising their grandchildren in some instances, whatever is going on in their life, so they can have an association, a group that then is just set apart to minister to the needs of grandparents. And so the association is really helpful and wonderful. So if you've never heard of the Grandparents Association, we bring it to you today, and we encourage you to go to the website, grandparentsassociation.org.
Hold on, babe. I think it's CatholicGrandparentAssociation.org. I think we said .com by mistake last time, so we want you to know the website, or you can just email us. We can get you the information. We want you to learn more, and we want to hear from you today. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. More with Heather Barber. Don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, remember that we want you to be a part of our show. So if you have a question for Heather, we want you to give us a jingle right here during the live broadcast. You might be a grandparent at home and you're thinking, gosh, maybe I had a great grandparent in my life who really loved me and made life special for me. We want you to give a jingle right here during the live broadcast at 1-800-221-9460. If you're calling and you're outside North America, you can reach us at area code 205-271-2980. And remember, you can always send us an email, jimandjoy@ewtn.com, and we would love to hear from you. So if you're a grandparent out there and you know, maybe you have struggles and you're thinking, okay, how do I get this group to come to my church? I would certainly like support. Ways that you can get in touch with the Catholic Grandparent Association.org.
And I'd like to hear from people that have been touched by grandparents. Let's get some good words in here for grandparents, what they've meant in your lives, the unique place that they have in your life, the entree that grandparents have that's just seems like ordained by God in the lives of their grandchildren. So we'd like to hear from you. Give us a call or email us. Heather, you were speaking earlier about giving talks at various parishes, going from place to place, unpacking the Grandparent Association and the vision, for it. And you spoke about responses that people have. I mean, they're just so glad that you're coming. Grandparents are being, affirmed. But yet, I find in speaking with grandparents, there's a lot of sadness there too. I mean, not all the relationships are the best relationships. There's so many things going on. Or there's a lot of their grandchildren that aren't taking up the faith, and that's the key for the Grandparent Association, is to pray. Pray for them, pray the rosary, pass on the faith as best you can. So tell us a little bit more about the responses and what you're hearing and what you're recommending to people when they share with you.
Absolutely. So a lot of responses are that they're very grateful, of course, but there are a lot of grandparents that are worried because their grandchildren are falling back from their faith and they don't know where to turn or how to approach this. And one of the things that I recommend is to take a 30-day challenge. And with a 30-day challenge, it's basically to ask their grandchildren or their children or anyone that needs a little bit of faith, and to ask them to do everything for their faith for 30 days, reading faithful books, going on a pilgrimage to inspire them to meet people that have faith and just learn about their Catholic faith, to go to Mass every day, to watch Catholic television, EWTN, just incorporate everything into their faith, music.
Yeah. I heard something like that, one of the shows that we did, and it was somebody that was, Catholic and then was thinking about leaving the faith and so on, and this person came to them and did that kind of something like that, and said, then, before you depart this faith, I want to recommend some things to you. I want to challenge you, about this, so that if you do leave, you could know why you're leaving or what you disagree with, because so many times people are departing the faith or drifting away from the faith. Sometimes it's a rebellion, sometimes it's just like, I just don't get the Catholic faith. And this person really took the time and wrote up different areas for them to delve into before you depart. He didn't deny that you can't depart the faith, which I think is very important that we say that to people or to our grandchildren. It's not like I could make you come to faith or threaten you about the faith. So this challenge is just simply make a well-informed decision. Understand what we have in Christ, in the church, in the sacraments, in the saints, through media, what's being done at this point. So that's kind of what you give to them.
Yes.
And you give them recommendations?
Just try to incorporate it into their daily life, even just taking a few minutes each day, and then maybe increasing it each day to sit in prayer, to talk to our Lord, just you and the Lord, incorporating friends that have faith. And then once you see new people at the parishes, it's our job as parishioners to reach out to them and to just try to get them where they need, guide them along and try to keep them in our homes, in our parishes.
Yeah. Tell our family at home about the love letter. I love that idea.
Yes, well, I've heard it from Catherine Wiley. It's a love letter of faith. And basically, most people, when they, before they die, they prepare for their death through preparing their masses, buying flowers, writing their wills. But are they keeping God in their faith in this process? And one way of doing that is through writing a love letter of faith. And that is to, in their will, leave a letter to each family member, addressing it to each member of how much you love them, but more importantly, how much God loves you even that much more, and reaching out to them and trying to, this will be your last way of reaching them and giving them their faith possibly, and just asking them to go to Mass, maybe once a week have a Mass said for this family person, and the whole family come together and just be to Mass together. And do that maybe once a week, maybe once a year, have a Mass, and just try to continue that. And then after, when times are tough and, they miss this person, maybe they can pull that letter out and reread it again. And maybe that will be that point where it's finally time, where God says it's time for them, divine timing, where they're ready to have their Catholic faith.
Yeah, I want to speak more about that, but let's take this phone call first and then get back to the love letter of faith.
And welcome to At Home with Jim and Joy. Your question or your comment for Heather. Ann, are you there?
Hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
we can hear you. Go ahead.
All right. I have 3 grown grandchildren that are non-Catholic in their 20s. And I've just learned they are not baptized. Mm-hmm. They live out of town, so I don't see them very often. And it truly troubles me. I pray constantly that they will, at some point in time, take it upon themselves to get baptized, but they don't feel the need for it in their lives.
Well, I'm so sorry, and I can hear that burden of love in your heart. And this is another reason for the Catholic Grandparents Association, that we could unite together, we can share these stories together. Unfortunately, your story's not unique. And you're doing the most important thing in terms of that intercession and prayer, and don't ever underestimate that. So you continue to do that. I don't know what the circumstance of the situation is, but I mean, if you can ever get the opportunity to share and to discuss this with them.
I mean, I do rosaries for them
Beautiful.
3 times a day.
Yeah, yeah.
Bless your
And if you ever have the opportunity and you're together, I like to just witness, if we can. Sometimes it's not possible to do, but why is baptism important? To me, this is why baptism is important to me, and my own process in not understanding it, being baptized as an infant, yet receiving such a blessing, and at various points in my life, not really getting it still. But then when you finally get the power of the sacrament, and to share it in such a way that it's alive within you, and sometimes that gets on people. Maybe they just don't understand what this is about. And as our bishop has said, regarding the new evangelization and the year of faith that we had some years back, he said, if our people knew what a sacrament is, they would never leave the church. They just wouldn't leave. If you understand that this is Christ in matter, truly, God Almighty coming to you, wanting to be inside of you, living in you, nurturing you, forgiving you, feeding you. Once you get that, well, then you'll never leave. Your thoughts?
Yes, thank you, Ann, for calling. And my thoughts are just keep being that role model to them. Keep trying. Keep being that example. Send them letters. Call them. Trying to keep doing what you're doing. Praying for them.
Yeah.
Prayer works wonders.
Yeah.
Be that prayer warrior.
And I think the thing that's important too is if in Ann's situation, they live out of town and she can't get to them and everything. Letters are good, prayer cards are good, but also that God would put someone in their place. That, Lord, you know where they are, you know where they work, you know what streets they're walking down, that God would put someone in their place that could share them that message. Yeah. And you're plowing the ground of just making their hearts and their spirits fertile to say yes to the Lord.
I'd like to say one more thing about this as well, just for all of our viewers out there. And we experienced this at various times with our own children who were drifting away or maybe in rebellion, and there's all sorts of situations. And some of these young people, or they're not so young anymore, might be adamant about it. That's the best time to affirm their dignity, worth, and value, and your love for them.
Apart from faith.
That's the time, and that's very Christian and very Catholic to do. To say that I love you for the essence of your being. I totally love you, I'm committed to you, and I wouldn't love you more if you get baptized, and if you go to confession, if you whatever. That's for your own health and well-being. I can't make that happen for you. And there are consequences whether you do that or not. You just need to know that. But I will always be committed to you. I love you, not because you're baptized and not because you are a child of God. You're my grandson, you're my granddaughter, you're my boy, you're my girl. I will always love you. Now, it could be easier and more pleasant. That's your decision. And I got the answers. But I'm going to love you no matter what. That's got to be said. That's the best time to affirm somebody's life. Not after they're baptized, before they're baptized. Not when they're in the Lord, when they're in rebellion. You don't condone their rebellion or drifting away. You say, I love you. It's important. You got
Okay, we have an email. It says, I'm a 71-year-old and I don't have a lot in common with my grandchildren now that they're entering their teenage years. Talking with them about our Catholic faith results in glassy-eyed stares. How can I make Catholicism something they can relate to, especially since their parents are not very active? And this is Sandra from Oak Park, Michigan.
Thank you, Sandra. Well, basically doing what you're doing, just trying to promote your faith, send them prayer cards, visit them, call them, just keep doing the faith, keep sharing your faith. Maybe it's a book. Maybe there's a book that might inspire them. Maybe there's a poem. But honestly, anything can really reach them at any age.
Well, I want to share with, I do some advertising for Religious Catalog, and there are some beautiful, outstanding holy reminders of our faith at Religious Catalog, EWTNRC.com. But in every room of our house, is something beautiful.
Yes.
Something beautiful. It might be a statue of an angel. It might be a crucifix. It might be. So wherever they're coming in my house, there are those holy reminders. You know what? I don't even have to say a word. I mean, one time one of my grandchildren was like, Nona, are you a Christian? I was like, mm-hmm. And she, are you saved? I said,
because they're from a different...
They're from a different denomination background. And I said, yeah, I am. And I am madly in love with Jesus. And that was it. I said, nothing more, nothing less. Let it be. But the holy reminders, I can even remember growing up as a child in my own home. My mother, we didn't go to church and do all that stuff with my family, but whatever reason, we had a picture of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Yeah. Or we had a crucifix. And those holy reminders constantly are registering in the child's heart. Yeah. Constantly.
The other thing, because just bring them over and give them that love hug, that agape hug. And if they're not too rebellious about church or whatever, you can say, oh, that's a love hug and that's a Catholic hug. Let them feel Catholic. Let them feel Christ. Let them feel the power of the sacrament that you just may have had at Holy Eucharist, and you come home from church. Maybe they don't go to church anywhere, and you love them. You look them in the eyes, even though they get glassy eyes, and you look them right in the eye and tell them how beautiful they are. So sometimes it's not didactic. You can't teach it, and they get glassy-eyed. But meaningful touch, sacramental touch is going into them. And I think that's really important. You can do that.
Well, perfect. And it really is. It is the encounter when you have that and you experience that with it.
What's the incarnation, right? Jesus came. I mean, we had the Old Testament and we have creation and so on. But he came with a face. Jesus is God with skin, God made poor, God with a face, God now, God here, God who wants to touch you. That's what we're supposed to be doing as grandparents, just loving on them and grabbing them and loving them, not because they're obedient or Catholic, but because they are children of God.
Because they are.
You're a children of God, whether you admit it or not. You still are a child of God. You give them that.
Well, I have another email for you. It says, my son married a girl who is sweet in almost every way. However, she is a strict Baptist and very anti-Catholic. She respects my practice of my faith, but has made it very clear that their children are to be raised Baptist. My son goes along with her, saying it is her decision. How can I reach out to my grandchildren without offending their mother? And this is Lisa from Clearwater, Florida.
Thank you, Lisa. Sometimes it's as simple as when you have that time by yourself with your grandchildren, just being able to talk with them, and maybe if you've gone on a pilgrimage and explaining some of the places that you've been to and the faith-driven things that you experience, or the people that you've met and the experiences that you learn, and just saying prayers with your grandchildren, sitting down with them and praying with them.
Carpe diem, seize the moment, seize the time. We're going to take a break. More about the Catholic Grandparents Association. A great work. Go to their website. We'll be right back. Please don't go away.
Welcome back to our show. Well, we have been talking with Heather Barber about the Catholic Grandparents Association, and you can find more about the Catholic Grandparents Association at their website, CatholicGrandparentsAssociation.org, and it's got more information on how you can start a branch of the Catholic Grandparents Association in your area, support the grandparents and the families in your area. But before we continue with Heather, we want to go straight to Rome to hear from Joan. Joan, what do you have for us today?
Well, greetings from Rome to all of you at home. And I have to tell you, I love today's theme, talking about grandparents and or the elderly. And you know, this has been a very big topic for Pope Francis throughout his pontificate. In fact, he did something predecessors had not done. He celebrated on September 28th, 2014, a special event in St. Peter's Square just for grandparents. I was there and covered that event. It was really remarkable. Lots of grandkids were there too, but especially it was for the presence of Pope Benedict XVI. And I have to say, Francis was lovely. He called Benedict a wise grandfather. Now that day, the Pope also said, one of the most beautiful things in life, in the family, in our lives, is caressing a child and letting yourself be caressed by a grandmother or grandfather. Now, the following year, July 2015, on the feast of Saints Joachim and Anne, of course they were the grandparents of Jesus, the Holy Father said, I want to greet all of the grandparents, all the grandfathers and grandmothers, to thank them for their special place in families and for their importance to the new generations. And then, of course, only months earlier, at a general audience in March in St. Peter's Square, the Pope reflected on the value and importance of grandparents, their role in the family, and he said, I place myself in their shoes because I, too, am of that age group. Now, at that time, he also said, the words of grandparents contain something special for young people, and they know it. The words that my grandmother gave me in writing for my priestly ordination are still today in my breviary, and I read them every day, and they mean so much to me. He said, we pray for our grandfathers, grandmothers, and all those who've played a heroic role in transmitting the faith. And Francis said, sometime when Mom and Dad weren't around, or when they had strange ideas that maybe the policies of the time had taught them, then we could always rely on the grandparents to transmit the true faith. So a great topic, and I just want to end by greeting all of the grandparents who are watching us tonight on this show, so who are at home with you, Jim and Joy.
Thank you so much, Joan, for another beautiful, informative presentation, especially about Pope Emeritus Benedict and Pope Francis, their love for the elderly, for grandparents, their association, feeling grandfatherly themselves, and the many precious stories that you've told. We have a call here from Anne in Louisiana. Anne, you're at home with Jim and Joy. Your question or your comment, go right ahead.
Hi, Jim and Joy. I love watching your show. Y'all are such a good example of what a marriage should be.
Thank you.
I love the topic on grandparents. My grandfather died when I was in my mother's womb, so it was maternal grandfather. But my maternal grandmother, she became a prayer warrior for me and my brother and sister. My father was bipolar, and there was domestic violence. And so at 6 years old, my mother had to divorce him. And when the police came to take him, because he wouldn't accept treatment, my grandmother was there for us. And I remember her holding me so tight with her chest. And then we went every Christmas, every summer to stay with her. And every night she was on her knees praying. And before meals she would pray. And on the weekend she would take us to church. And one time she showed me that she had had a mastectomy. And even now she's still ministering to me because I was just diagnosed with breast cancer in June, this past June. And I just had a double mastectomy. And I feel her presence with me now. You know, she's praying with me and for me now. And so she's had a tremendous impact on my faith. and for my brother and sister. I'm so grateful for her.
And thank you for this
so much.
beautiful witness and testimony. May all the healing power that the Lord has for you be made manifest within you at this time. And you're listening to a story, it so typifies what the Catholic Grandparents Association is about. She says, I can still, feel my grandmother pulling me into her chest, and loving me. And again, just the importance, we've heard this a number of times, of meaningful sacramental touching. There's so much going on in the world and so much information and so much whatever. Who's really touching a child, another person, without wanting anything in return but to touch them wholly and purely? And then praying with someone, praying with your grandchildren. She said she prayed with me and she took me to church. Giving them the faith, not just our prayers, but the faith, the foundation of the motherly kindness of the church and sharing the Lord. She had so many components there.
Passing it on, too.
Passing it on.
Passing from generation to generation to build our Catholic faith, a stronger, deeper Catholic faith.
Right. And she's facing a threat of death on her own life. We pray that she gets all the healing and she'll be able to go through this. Maybe she won't. But she's saying that the grandmother had shared with her about her mastectomy, right? It was kind of like, what's that about? Well, you know what? She would one day have the same, problem, this same attack on her body. And I didn't sense fear in her voice because she had a grandmother who went through it, has passed on. And so our grandparents help us to see, you can die with true dignity. Don't kill me through euthanasia. We can go through the process of suffering and die trusting in the Lord and in the goodness of the church and pass on. This is a part of life.
Well, and I think one of the beautiful things that grandparents do when we get to escort them, because I think for us and our grandchildren, we're pretty healthy, we're pretty strong. Although you had a heart attack, I came through cancer. But I do remember when, after Jim, you had the heart attack, the kids have this little medical box.
Yeah.
And they came and you were on the chair, and Sophia and Sienna, they came up and they wanted to make sure your heart was okay. And so they had this little play stethoscope and they were like, Baba, are you okay? You're going to be okay? Because the beauty is, you come through it, but you come through it through faith. So all of our trials, all of our joys, all of our sufferings, when our grandchildren watch us go through it, then we not only impart to them how we love, how we suffer, how we come through with God's grace and mercy, so because we know they're going to encounter stuff in their life, as we do with our children, and the same thing with our grandchildren.
Yeah.
And when you encounter things, you go immediately to your Catholic faith. You stop, you pray.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you need to do.
Yes. Yeah, our faith needs to be experiential. It needs to be now. It needs to be today. And our grandchildren and other people need to see, hey, this faith is just not out there somewhere or in a book somewhere or even in the sanctuary somewhere. It's day to day in your life. And I think everyone knows, especially children today and young people today, we need some help. There's a lot of people, a lot of information, a lot of so-called communication, but I feel really alone and I feel scared and I don't feel very valuable. I feel bad about myself. And for some reason you're 70, 80, 90, moving towards 100 or maybe beyond, and your body's breaking down, but somehow you have peace. You have joy. Somehow you seem younger than I do because the spirit doesn't age. You're aging, but there's light and life. And we saw that in John Paul II, Mother Teresa, and in our popes here today.
Well, I want to personally invite you to join us at the EWTN Family Celebration. I'm not going to be there, but Jim is going to be there. And that will be September 9th through the 10th.
Now they're not going to come. Everybody wants to see you.
No, you're going to be there. I have to go to a wedding here in town at the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts. And special guests will include Michael Warsaw, Doug Keck, Father Mitch Pacwa, Marcus Grodi, and other EWTN favorites. We want you to be a part of the live television audience, Holy Mass and opportunities for confession. You can shop at the religious catalog where you can get those holy reminders. Maybe you don't have enough of those in your home. This is an opportunity. The catalog shop is coming right to you. So children will have fun learning all about their faith at the EWTN Faith Factory booth.
And then we have the Media Missionary meeting the night before, that Friday, 6 p.m. at the same DCU Center. If you are a Media Missionary, please make every attempt to join us there, especially if you're from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Vermont, these other places. For more information, go to EWTN.com. Heather, thanks again for being with us. It's the Catholic Grandparents Association. Go to the website. Next Saturday is the conference.
And we want to invite everybody to come to the conference because
We're
we
gonna be
will
there.
be at that conference in Pennsylvania. So join us there. It will be a wonderful time. You're not alone ever. So this is a great place for you to plug into.
God bless you. Keep it on EWTN. Bye now.